weekend, Chelsea travelled to Old Trafford, as did Nina. What did you make of your team's performance yesterday? Because I've seen some Chelsea fans okay with it. There are others, especially on the channel you feature on a lot on Chelsea Fan TV. I watched a lot of the fan cams. There was a lot of very angry Chelsea supporters that were fuming with how you played. 24 hours or so to reflect on it. What was your thoughts on Chelsea's performance yesterday at Old Trafford?
Yeah, so I think because the pre-expectations of the game were that we needed 3 points and we wanted to go to Old Trafford and end this winless streak there finally and for good. You know, we thought good time to play you. There's a lot of chaos. You're anticipating a new manager. You know, we've been scoring a lot of goals. You've not. So because of the pre-expectations, that's the result of the disappointment. But I think throughout the course of the game and when we watched the game and how things unfolded, I think a point at the end of it was probably fair, which doesn't make it okay necessarily. But as someone who obviously traveled to the game and there was a lot of anticipation for this one, I must say I was pretty disappointed with the game. It did not blow me away. It was pretty dull at times and I expected a lot more. But I think Maresca set us up wrong. I disagree with the choice to start Reece James as left back, and I think that Malo Gusto inverting didn't work and it inhibited everyone else's games, and by that I mean Madueke, I mean even Cole Palmer to an extent, and it just really changed the dynamic of our game. It meant we couldn't really string our midfield into our attack like we've done so this season. I will also credit some of the United's defending as well. I think Mizraoui was brilliant at shutting down Madueke's efforts on the right-hand side. But overall, it was pretty frustrating because we went there hoping to get a win, hoping to continue our goal-scoring ways, but that didn't happen. I think we were quite reluctant to take risks as well, and I think that came with the pressure of playing at Old Trafford. There's just something about that ground. You know, we went there last season hoping to get a win. Again, we said to ourselves it was a good time to play you. You guys had started your sort of losing streak there. I think it was November or so, and we went there and we played our worst game up until that point that season, and you beat us and we walked away disappointed again. But ultimately we just abandoned what has been working really under Maresca so far, and it was a pretty poor display from us, I'd say.
Ches, do you agree with that take? Do you feel like you kind of abandoned what you've done? Do you think Maresca and why did Maresca set up in that way, if you agree with it, of course?
Yeah, we kind of played in third gear. I kind of said in my own stream that we didn't play at all to expectation that we expect from our team. And even against Liverpool, I think 2 weeks ago, we actually showed a little bit more. And even that game, we questioned our intensity, our patterns of playing to the final third. And this game's even worse. It's like we stooped down to your level and played at your kind of level playing ground. And that was the way we just played the whole 90 minutes. And the only time we kind of changed it was when you guys scored the goal. Because in 4 minutes, we scored a goal. And I genuinely think the game plan, what he told them was, I mean, I have a new manager bounce. They're up for this game. The manager's gone, new lease of life sort of vibe. And he told them, let's not go into the game too much. No rash tackles. Let's not give them too much space. And score a goal in the counter-attack, you could say. And then just park the bus sort of thing. I think it's that simple. Because the way we played, that's the only way I can explain it. And this is why my team, against big teams, I don't have much confidence for a long time. It hasn't changed recently. This is why even in the Arsenal game, we're going to preview, obviously, in a new show, but I'm not that confident for the game, even though I should be. My team should be much more confident in this game, but the last game showed me that when games matter the most, especially against bigger teams, we don't really seem to have the impetus or the drive to win the game. So when Ian explains it as dross and poor and low quality, I echo all those thoughts, and that's what I've said. And the game was just really, really poor. And Man United were probably worse than us. We made them look even better than they probably was because we were just that bad. We didn't really do much. We weren't clinical.
When you say Man United were poor, in what aspect were we poor?
Well, is actually a serious question. Or?
Yes. No need to be rude, but yes.
No, Joe. What's it called? I thought Man United were. I think. You guys create, correct me if I'm wrong, right? You guys create a lot of opportunities in game, right? But you don't finish them off. That's why you're where you are in the league. I don't think Man United's issue has been defensively, because you can see similar goals to Arsenal, Chelsea, who else on Spurs. But in terms of finishing of chances, you're lowest in the league. You're third lowest for goals scored. So you guys creating your chances was good. but I didn't think your midfield was very good. I didn't think we got through your lines very easily in the game. We just had people like Gusto opening passes. Noni didn't really do anything because Mazzaro was good, to be fair. But I don't really think you had shown any patterns of play or anything that great. I just think you just played your normal game, and that isn't really good enough. That's why you're 13th. And we kind of was on your level. At least Liverpool, I could say that we showed a certain level, but yesterday was just really, really poor. I was not happy with it. Really poor.
It's an interesting one. Look, we know Man United's finishing has been poor. No one's going to sit here and deny that. But what I think is really interesting about Man United's performance, had Garnacho scored one of those chances, in one of the ones at the end, the narrative would have been so different. And I think for me, when people say United were poor, we created an abundance of chances against Chelsea that we should have put away. Where I was happy with Man United yesterday, and people keep saying they were cutting through us, show me the chances. Your goal was amazing. Caicedo, along with Maswari, best player on the football pitch, scored a stunning volley from the edge of the box. There was a header in the first half that hit the post. The only other opportunity you had fell to Enzo, who was never going to score, and that came from a dodgy deflection that made a player of ours slip. So I reject this notion that Chelsea, who've got one of the best attacks in the league, were cutting through us. You may have beat the initial press. You may have passed the ball through the central line, but it's one of the first games I've seen Man United play against a top opponent in well over 18 months where we were not being peppered. Spurs peppered us, scored loads of goals.
But what I would say is,
Liverpool
I think
scored peppered against us. Now, my view is this: that Man United, you could argue we were even the underdogs in this game in some people's eyes. In some people's eyes, that is, we are in a mess. We are 14th in the league. We haven't got our new manager yet, and Chelsea have been in very good form. But where I reject the notion that it was our normal game is no. Under Ten Hag, we were using Ten Hag's Island in every game where we would empty the midfield and whoever the DM was left completely exposed by themselves. We did that differently. Now, am I happy with Man United playing to this level in terms of how we set up, how we attack, conversion rate forever? Of course I'm not. But I was actually pleasantly surprised because we have been so open when we've played bigger teams in the last 18 months, barring Man City in the FA Cup final. Outside of that, we have been absolutely exposed, ripped apart, ripped limb from limb by nearly all the big teams that we've come up against on such a regular basis. And so that element, I agree. The attacking element of Man United, yeah, it was awful yesterday. We should have scored 3 or 4 goals against you. We should have put some of those chances away.
I agree.
Because we should have converted those chances, that's why I can't attack the performance. If we're missing those gilt-edged chances, that means we played and performed to a game where we should have scored 3 or 4 goals. And if we had scored those goals, nobody would have said our performance was bad. So I'm just differentiating performance from putting balls in the back of the net. But overall, structurally, I was quite happy with Man United yesterday.
No, but what I'm saying is this, yeah? You're not 13th for no reason. You're 13th for a reason. Let's just get the first thing out of the way. So what I'm trying to say is that when you're saying you're praising the way you played, me, Nina, and David's probably going to ditto what we just said. We played 3-4 levels below our expectations. So when we're saying that, when I'm saying you didn't play that well, is that you might have seen from your perspective you had a good game, but we're saying we had a really poor game. So that kind of evens itself out a draw because we're 4th and you're 13th. That's my point. So when I'm saying we played poorly, we played, in my opinion, the worst game of the season. Probably I
understand that. Where I think you're being disrespectful, though, as Chelsea fans in general, is I think, and I saw the reactions on the fan cams, and this is what I'm going by this. We should be beating this fucking Man United team. They're shit. We are not as bad as our league position dictates in terms of players and personnel, but we play in a system where we open up so much under Ten Hag, where it was easy for teams to play against us. We were easy to create chances against. We have averaged in the last 18 months 22 attempts on goal at home in the Premier League. Okay, that is I don't believe the players are that bad. We've had the last 2 games. We've had a manager that has said, "Look, we're going to pack the midfield. We're going to be hard to break down." Yes, you weren't at your normal level. But that's because Man United stopped a lot of your attacks. We stopped you from creating things. I just look at it, and I think that, yeah, you can argue some of your players had bad games, but all of our defenders played well yesterday. All of them played well. We stopped so many of your attacks. I think not crediting Man United with at least an element of respect around stopping one of the best attacks in England when everybody has run through us like a hot knife through butter predominantly in the last 18 months. I just think it's a little bit disingenuous.
No, I'm gonna give you guys credit for not losing the game. if that's what you want credit for. But what I'm merely saying is,
That's not what I want credit for.
don't we can't act
You're
like
still
in the first
doing it,
half-
Ches. Like,
No,
That's not what I
Ches,
said.
no,
you're still doing it.
Not
He
what I
just
said.
said you disrespected his team, and you said, "I'm gonna give you credit for not losing," like as if
Let
they're
me land my
looting, bro.
point, man.
Not what I said.
I'm not even making jokes.
No, but the
I'm
thing
actually
is,
making.
you
But David, one
No,
sec. Let me
That's
say
not
one
what I
last
said.
thing, right?
But it's
I
not what I said.
don't want
though,
to act
Ches.
like.
Don't
what
put
I'm
words in
making
my mouth,
is-
because you and Don got really upset once when I made a joke about something you guys have said and it was a joke, and
I
you
barely
proper
even
come
said
in the
a
group
word.
chat with like, Terry, it's a disgrace that you make a joke that we didn't say something, and you're doing it there. You're saying things I didn't say. You should be giving us credit for not losing. I said we should be getting some level of credit for stopping one of the best attacks in the Premier League, and you completely twist my words.
No,
Why?
to be fair, I'll give you credit for that. Chelsea didn't cut through your team, but what I'm saying about the Gusto point is he had so many opportunities to make a better pass or a better shot, and it didn't happen. That's what another team, Man United. That's our players.
What
For
about the
example,
second half when Gusto was off them?
I'm
Why
more
no
to the whole
chances in
game,
the second half?
firstly. We had chances in the second half. We just missed them.
What chances? What chances? What
Neto,
guilt
in
is-
my opinion,
Neto had a shot that drifted
Neto should have
just wide
squared
of
that.
the
Yeah,
post.
he should
That's
have
still
shot.
a
Enzo
half
should have
chance.
definitely
That's not a guilt edge chance. A shot from distance.
Enzo Fernandez should have scored his goal. That should be a goal. We
Okay,
should have
but
won.
that chance came from a pass that deflected off a Man United player, and De Ligt had to change direction suddenly, and he slipped. That wasn't Chelsea cutting us open.
No, but this is my overall point, right? In my opinion, your attack's been poor this season.
We
So
know
I
that.
was
Agree.
always thinking in this game that if we didn't give up any bozo moments, which we've done all season, I think we would have won. And I thought that was his game plan for the team, sort of thing. If we didn't give you the penalty, I don't think you would have scored, honestly. And that's why I'm saying
I don't disagree with that.
that's why I'm disappointed in my team.
I'm not disagreeing.
Because
I'm
from my
not disagreeing with that element. I just think it's
From my
it's
perspective,
this is
we
funny
gave
to
you the
watch
draw.
that Man
Like, you
United
guys
stopped one of the best attacking teams. That a lot of Chelsea fans were telling me all week, we're going to cut through us. They're going to run through us like diarrhea. Some guy said to me, we stopped them, and it's we just passed poorly. And I just think that's a little. There were some poor passes, of
No,
course
but
there
Terry,
were.
we did
It's
play
like
poorly,
the same as us, but it's crazy. It's just crazy that Man United get like criticized no matter what we do.
Like I
United
said at the
Can I
start,
say
we're
one?
the biggest team in the country.
Can I just?
United are bad, but they're not bad. But they were bad under Ten Hag, and we didn't play Ten Hag bad United. So, like, again, we can't use the same level of reference when it's like they're 13th for a reason. Yeah, they were 13th under a different manager, but this new guy Rudy's come in has changed the way they play. No, I don't know. No, but Ches, I don't think they did play particularly well. But at the end of the day, we didn't play. We played down to what.
But this is the narrative that you get. You got JJ. Sorry, you got JJ here that says, Terry, you're playing at home. You want credit for drawing. Again, when did I say that? Tell me where I said I want credit for getting a draw. I'm talking about stopping a really good attack. I'm saying I think it's disingenuous to pay no credit to Man United's setup and shape and defense as to why we stopped them. I'm not saying we should be praised for drawing. As a Man United fan, I was happy to see some semblance of a structure and shape because we've been missing that for 18 months. But that's a very personal thing to me. I don't expect anyone else outside of Man United fans to care about that. I'm talking about the overarching analysis that Man United were just poor. We can't be poor if we stop one of the best attacks in England from attacking us. You can't say overall we were poor. That for me is shit analysis. That is not Terry Flewers, I'm speaking in third person here, saying I want praise for a draw. Let's stop doing that bullshit because that is not what I said. Sorry, back to you, David. I apologize.
I just think, yeah, we kind of played down to their level just because I simply think that we are, in our current form, we are a level above them just because, again, Rude's not their actual manager. We don't know what they're going to be like in the next couple of games. And I do think that was one of their better performances of the year in terms of they didn't concede 30 chances on goal.
Structures.
But they actually, it was one of their better performances of the year. And it just happened that it came against us where they weren't, letting everybody just run forward and then letting us play through. But even still, with all of that, I thought our actual issue was just we made poor decisions. Hence why on the stat sheet we haven't got chances created, but we were in the right areas. Positionally, we were probably in the right areas. If you did like an actual analysis, again, this is just off my memory, so I don't know the actual numbers. But I'm sure positionally we were in the right spots, but we just when we got into those spots, we either overplayed the pass or the cross was too much or the shot just went wide or this, that, and the other. One thing I will say though about Man United, Garnacho, sell him. He's ass. Get him gone. He's terrible. Sorry.